Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a psychological thriller film, NOCEBO. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film tells the story of a successful, wealthy woman named Christine. She is a wife, working mother, and children's clothing designer. In the first scenes, her daughter goes to school while her husband goes to work. Christine has a successful career and proudly watches her fashion show. One day, she receives a phone call, and someone informs her that the authorities are removing a large number of bodies from a factory in the Philippines, where her clothes were made. Christine says she feels sick at this moment and hangs up the phone. Suddenly, she hallucinates and sees a tick-infested dog. The dog approaches her and begins to shake off the parasites. One of them falls on the back of Christine's head and bites her. After this incident, Christine's health deteriorates, and she is put on a sleep apnea machine. The tick has left a red mark on her neck, and Christine begins taking a large number of medicines in the hope of getting better. She prepares for a sales presentation and wears her lucky red shoes. However, the shoes don't bring her luck because her supervisor examines the new models and asks for changes to them. Then Christine returns to the car and feels a sharp pain in her palm, so she takes painkillers. When she arrives home, she suddenly hears someone ring the doorbell. Christine meets a woman who claims to have been hired as a maid. Christine doesn't remember hiring her, but given her state of health, she thinks she has forgotten that she had hired somebody. Christine welcomes the maid into the house and gives her a room. After making the bed, the maid opens her suitcase, which contains several items that are used in rituals. She then pulls out a picture of her dead daughter and looks at it intently. She has a flashback to when she gave birth to her daughter, and Christine experiences the same thing. The maid then discovers a tick on the floor and picks it up in a matchbox, reciting a spell. When the husband and the little girl return home, they are not as friendly to the maid. She shows up and declares that she will now prepare dinner for them. Later, the maid sweeps the ashes out of the fireplace and collects them. Later, she hears the husband complaining about the homemaker's hiring. Later, she prepares dinner and puts the finishing touches on it by adding Filipino seasonings. Everyone is surprised by the goodness of the food and praises her. Christine suddenly feels a stabbing pain in her hand and lies down on the floor. The maid relieves her pain by tickling her, leaving everyone amazed. Later, as the husband carries the daughter to bed, she notices a dog downstairs. But a moment later, the maid appears. There is definitely something strange about her, for she is no ordinary maid, and she will soon reveal her goal. In the next scene, the maid inspects children's clothes in Christine's room. She examines the sewing machine and then notices an article. She gets emotional at the sight of a little girl hugging Christine. Later that night, the maid places the ashes outside her door. Soon after, she hears a little girl say that she is there with her. Most likely, it is the spirit of her dead daughter, with whom the maid communicates through her psychic abilities. In the morning, the little girl inspects the ashes at the maid's door and finds the footprints of a child. Later, the maid brings breakfast to Christine and her husband. The maid starts talking about Christine's old sewing machine. Christine states that she no longer uses it and that she pays people to sew for her. The maid is curious to know who are the people that work for her, but Christine refuses to reveal that she exploits underpaid people in countries like the Philippines to produce her clothes. Later, Christine and the maid take the little girl to school. Christine realizes she has taken a wrong turn and then feels dizzy. The three then decide to walk to school. When she tries to hail a cab home, Christine has difficulty even using the phone. The maid claims that she can help her recover by using a traditional Filipino treatment. When they return home, the maid creates a smoky atmosphere before blowing bubbles into a jar filled with water. The water becomes dirty, and the maid states that Christine needs to purify her soul. Christine is repressing something inside her, perhaps a sense of guilt that she does not want to reveal to others. However, the maid helps her to purify herself. When Christine asks where she learned this, the maid relates that she acquired this ability in her childhood when she was visited by a sick woman, a Numu, who possesses enormous magical power that can harm or heal. If someone witnesses the death of a Numu, they acquire its power. In fact, after the death of the Yumu, a bird carrying the soul comes out of her mouth and flies into the young maid's mouth. After that incident, the maid began to collect various plants that she would later use for her rituals because her parents forced her to heal others for money since she had the ability. The maid stresses the importance of trusting both the medicine and her. Christine suddenly feels much better after the treatment. Later, the maid creates a shrine in the fireplace with a picture of herself and her daughter. Christine interrupts her and tells her about her usual symptoms. Christine feels as if she is going crazy because of her terrible symptoms, and she asks her if she will be able to help her get well. The maid replies that she can if Christine trusts her fully. Next, the treatments begin, which include a steam bath and acupuncture on her toes. During the ritual, we see a flashback showing the maid and her family fleeing their hometown after being threatened by terrorists. They had to move to another city in search of a better life. The next morning, Christine becomes worried when she can no longer find her medicines. The maid reminds her that Christine threw them away. Christine believes it is another case of memory loss, but the husband suspects that the maid is manipulating his wife. As the days pass, the maid gets closer and closer to the little girl and accompanies her to school every day. One day, Christine hears a girl crying in her sewing room while she is working. She thinks it is her daughter, but then the room fills with smoke and fire. Christine tries to escape from the room, but she is trapped. When her husband enters the room, everything returns to normal. Later that evening, the husband goes to talk to the maid. He tells her about Christine's mental state and points out that she is now very vulnerable, so he asks her not to get into her head. Instead, the maid affirms that she will drive the evils out of Christine's mind. The husband is outraged, but the maid asks him to leave the room and warns him to be careful on the stairs. When he leaves the room, the house bird starts flying around him. The husband hits it, killing it. The bird falls to the ground, and a tick emerges from it, but unbeknownst to him. The next day, the maid arranges a small funeral for the bird, and shockingly, the little girl starts calling her father killer. Later, the maid performs a ritual on Christine to expel evil. Christine eventually speaks in an unknown language, claiming she doesn't want to see. The maid then hugs Christine and says that she is now finally free and healed. So Christine goes to pick up her daughter from school for the first time and is overjoyed. One day, the maid decides to take the little girl somewhere else instead of going to school. The maid shows her how to call the birds and teaches her. Meanwhile, Christine wears her lucky red shoes for a new sales campaign. Christine's work impresses the supervisor, who hires her for the next Southeast Asian collection. The husband returns home and decides to investigate the maid's room. He discovers the maid's display case and some strange bottles. When he checks under the bed, he discovers a bag with Christine's medicines, contracting the maid's claim that Christine threw them away by herself. When Christine returns home, her husband reveals everything to her. Outraged, Christine accuses the maid of manipulating her. However, the maid repeats that she must trust her. The husband suspects that she was putting medicines in Christine's food to make her believe she was helping with her rituals. The maid rejects all these claims. Nevertheless, Christine kicks her out of the house. The maid prepares her things and then inserts a tick into the air duct. The maid then goes to see the little girl and secretly asks her for one last favor so they can be together forever. The maid then walks away and the family watches her go. That night, as Christine sleeps, a huge tick crawls above her, getting closer and closer. A moment later, Christine notices the tick above her husband's face and then notices the dog again, hinting that the curse has returned. The next morning, the little girl lies to her mother about the fact that her father had hidden her medicines in the car. As a matter of fact, this is the favor the maid asked of her. Christine is upset by this and lashes out at her husband. After a heavy argument, he decides to go to sleep in another room. At that time, the husband hears the maid's voice warning him from the stairs. Then a bird comes out of nowhere and knocks him downstairs. As a result, the husband is taken to the hospital. The next day, the maid performs a ritual by playing the xylophone. Christine is working on a film for an advertisement for her clothes. As the maid plays the xylophone, Christine hallucinates and sees the people around her suffering from a severe allergy. Then she notices the dog, the light goes out, and she collapses on the floor screaming. Everyone looks at her confused, as if she has gone crazy. After this incident, Christine goes home and goes to bed. Suddenly, someone rings the doorbell, and the little girl goes to open it. She is happy to see the maid coming back and welcomes her inside. Christine also seems to be relieved to see her again. Afterward, the maid takes the ashes with a spoon and feeds them to Christine, saying it is time to understand. She then orders Christine to work on the sewing machine. The scene then shifts to a flashback when the maid is accompanying her daughter to work in a warehouse. She tells her daughter to hide under the table while she works on the sewing machine. Clothing labels indicate that this is the brand Christine works for. Christine enters the warehouse, where the maid is also working for the same company. Christine orders to increase production by making the women work harder and even asks to close the warehouse doors to prevent staff from stealing clothes. Christine happens to find the maid's daughter there, and they take a picture together, like the one in the article. Back to the present, Christine continues to work at the sewing machine, and the maid orders her to work double shifts to punish her exploitation in the past. Slowly, this ritual allows Christine to see what happens next in the warehouse. In another flashback, the maid wants to buy coconut juice for her daughter because it is excessively hot inside the warehouse. She approaches the manager and asks that the entrance to the warehouse be unlocked. Before she leaves, she must be checked to prevent her from stealing anything. Meanwhile, the manager hits the fan, causing a spark that ignites some clothing. As the maid is buying the coconut drink, she notices smoke coming from the warehouse. She goes to it and tries to enter inside, but the warehouse is still chained. Back to the present, Christine vomits on the sewing machine and is then abruptly carried inside the burning warehouse. The maid furiously asks her what she sees. Christine tearfully reveals that she sees the maid's daughter putting her hands over her eyes because she's in fear and doesn't want to see everyone burning. When the fire department arrives, there is only destruction and death, including the maid's daughter. The maid bursts into tears and then notices the tick-infested dog. Using her abilities, she summons the dog to Christine, revealing that she used the tick to manipulate Christine's mind, as shown earlier, in order to exact revenge for her daughter's death. All this time, Christine was suppressing the guilt inside her for what happened at the warehouse. The maid says that Christine is a parasite who has deprived her of everything, and now she intends to take Christine's daughter. The maid abandons Christine to the flames in the house and goes to Christine's daughter. Christine cries in despair as she is eaten by the flames. The maid tells the little girl that they will stay together for the rest of their lives. She tells the little girl to go to the garden and look up. The maid goes to the roof and jumps down to kill herself, while the little girl stares at her. Lying lifeless, the bird crawls out of the maid's mouth and enters the little girl through her mouth, indicating that the bird carrying the soul enters a new vessel and begins a new cycle, and now the girl assumes the role of Mumu. Meanwhile, the husband has returned home from the hospital and finds Christine completely consumed by fire. All that is left are her lucky red shoes. Finally, the maid has taken revenge by destroying Christine's family and depriving her daughter of a normal life. But as she promised, she has not abandoned her, and when the little girl goes to gather herbs, she sees the maid watching her from afar. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.